You know what's wild? If you sing, just sing for 33 seconds, something inside of you starts to shift. And no, this isn't some poetic exaggeration or metaphor. It's real. It's vibration. It's the ancient key that Thoth passed down in the temples of Egypt. The same knowledge that was hidden for thousands of years and is only now starting to reemerge. Long before medicine pills or technology existed, we knew this. Somewhere, somehow, it was already understood that sound, especially the right sound, could activate a hidden field of healing. And the wildest part, your own voice is the key to unlocking that field. Stick with me for the next few minutes, because not only are you going to feel this, science has already proven it. But Thoth, he didn't need peer-reviewed journals to understand what sound could do. He knew, deeply, because when words and vibration move in harmony, they can move worlds. And when you learn to vibrate the right way, you stop needing answers from outside. You stop searching, you start remembering. You don't need to believe in any of this. You just need to listen, feel, and sing. Stay with me until the end, because something activates in those final seconds a moment where the field actually opens and the healing begins while you're still watching. Sound is more than just music. It's the bridge between what we can see and what we can't, between form and spirit. When someone sings with intention, it's not entertainment, it's not performance, it's transmission, it's energy moving through matter. In ancient Egypt, the initiates would sit in deep silence inside those dark, echoing stone chambers. And they weren't listening to music. They weren't chanting memorized lines. They were waiting, waiting for the right sound. You see, in those times, sound wasn't a hobby. It was power. Sacred tech, a tool that only the initiated could wield properly. When the high priest, Jacob, or another master finally sang the precise note, something happened. Not metaphorically, literally. The body of the initiate began to shift to respond. It was as if the soul heard a signal it had been waiting for since before birth. These weren't musicians. They were frequency technicians. Every sound they created had intention, whether to heal a wound, awaken a memory, or realign energy. They understood the body not as a machine, but as a sacred instrument in every part of it: the liver, the heart, the kidneys. Even the nerves had its own unique vibration. When one part fell out of harmony, they didn't reach for herbs or potions. They used sound, not just any sound, the exact frequency needed to restore balance. Thoth documented all of this. In ancient records that somehow survived Atlantis and made their way into Egypt, he laid it all out. He taught that flesh is just the surface layer, that beneath what we see is an energetic architecture, a vibrational field where transformation truly happens. The invisible plane, the one our eyes can't perceive but our soul feels. He described a place, he called it the Hall of Iron, interdimensional space beneath the earth, where he used sound like a key. Pure tones, geometric vibrations. These weren't just chants, they were maps. Maps that guided initiates to travel between realms, clear past life wounds, unlock forgotten wisdom, and even reverse aging on an energetic level. But here's the kicker: none of this was visible to the naked eye. The sound didn't just echo in the ears. It moved through the whole body. It penetrated. It reached deep into layers of being that modern medicine still hasn't figured out how to access. That's why these sounds were never made public. They were passed down by word of mouth in sacred rituals, by masters who had trained for lifetimes. They were considered too powerful, too precise to be handed out carelessly. A wrong chant at the wrong time could disrupt someone's energy field rather than heal it. Thoth warned about this. He said, whoever chants without awareness scatters their energy. But if you chant with purity, with presence, that's when the hidden fire awakens. And that fire is real. It's waiting inside you right now like a dormant pulse. And a single tone can ignite it. See, healing doesn't come from outside. It never has. It's the process of remembering what's already within. Sound doesn't add something to you, it removes what's blocking the natural flow. When you chant consciously, you're not layering on healing. You're peeling away everything that's in the way. Even if you don't consciously remember, your soul does, your body does. It's like your cells perk up and say, oh yes, we know this. Because these sounds have been imprinted on your field since the moment you first arrived here. Since your very first breath. And Egypt wasn't the only place where this was happening. Half a world away, other cultures were doing the same thing. The Goi chanted in temples. The Vedics in India had their own sacred syllables. And when you see the connections across these seemingly unrelated civilizations, you realize this wasn't coincidence. It was a pattern, a shared legacy, a truth so powerful it echoed around the entire planet. They all understood something core: the universe wasn't built, it was sung into existence. While Egyptians were filling stone corridors with sacred chants, Indian sages were speaking of a sound that created the cosmos. Not tools, not hands. Sound. The first sound. The Vedas, the oldest spiritual texts on earth, say that this formless vibration came before light, before matter, before time. This vibration birthed everything. They called it Nada Brahma, the divine sound. To them, the statement, "the world is sound," wasn't philosophy. It was literal truth. And guess what? That's exactly what Thoth taught too. He said the entire universe is a result of the universal mind consciousness itself vibrating, thinking in frequency, speaking in sound, manifesting in energy. And here's what makes this so profound: if you understand this sound, if you can align with it, then you free yourself from the illusion of material limitation. Because this sound didn't just create the universe, it still runs it. It still organizes reality. Right now. Thoth said it clearly: sound governs form. The one who masters sound masters form, and the one who masters form walks between worlds like the gods. That wasn't metaphor. That was instruction. That was code. And here's where it gets personal. This sound, this vibration, it's not just floating out in the cosmos. It's inside you. Your cells, your organs, your energy, every piece of you echoes the original frequency that birthed stars. You're not just made of matter, you're a living melody, a cosmic composition. Each organ is like a note, each breath a rhythm. And the closer your internal song is to that original cosmic tone, the more in sync your life becomes. This is why the sages of India spoke of Om, not as a word but as a vibration, a living tone that echoes across all planes of existence. When you chant Om, not just lazily hum it, but really feel it, you're not just meditating. You're tuning in. You're harmonizing with the frequency that birthed galaxies. It's like your soul whispers, "Yes, this is it. This is who I am." And this memory, it doesn't come from your mind. It doesn't rise like a thought. It pulses up from the field, the invisible matrix around and within you. And that's why people who chant with presence often feel something shift. They feel peace, expansion, clarity. Not because they're relaxing, but because they're remembering. And that memory doesn't come with words. It comes as a knowing, a sensation that bypasses logic. The most stunning part: cultures separated by oceans, language and time were all saying the same thing, in different languages, with different rituals, but always echoing the same truth. The universe is vibration, and we are part of its song. Now here's where things get real. If the universe is one great symphony, and your body is an instrument in that orchestra, then what happens when you're out of tune? Exactly. You clash with the music of the whole. And this is the beautiful part: when you start to vibrate in the right rhythm, something amazing happens. The universe responds. Life begins to harmonize around you. You're not pushing against the current anymore. You're flowing with it. And for the longest time, this was brushed off as mysticism, as spiritual woo-woo. But science is catching up, fast. Modern physics, biology, even medicine, they're all beginning to echo the same understanding: everything vibrates. Everything moves. Everything responds to frequency. And that's no longer just the language of monks or mystics. It's showing up in peer-reviewed studies in scientific journals and university labs. The doors are opening, and guess what? It all lines up with what Thoth was teaching thousands of years ago. You are not solid, you are made of atoms, and those atoms, they're mostly empty space. But they're not still. They're dancing, always, vibrating at specific speeds. And the speed and rhythm of that vibration, that's what creates your experience, your health, your emotions, even your thoughts. It sounds simple, almost too simple. But once you really grasp it, it's life-changing. Because if everything in you vibrates, then everything in you can be retuned. And that's exactly where science starts to kneel at the altar of sound. There's an entire field called cymatics that literally shows this. If you place sand or water on a vibrating plate and play different frequencies, you can watch with your own eyes as the matter organizes itself. Low harsh frequencies create chaotic, messy patterns. But when you hit just the right tone, beautiful, complex geometric forms appear. Symmetry, order, and now apply that same principle to your body. You're over 70% water. Think about that. If sound can do that to a handful of sand or water on a metal plate, what do you think it's doing to you when you're exposed to disharmonic frequencies that includes toxic environments, chaotic noise, negative words, and worst of all, your own internal dialogue? Those repetitive thoughts filled with fear, judgment, shame, that's also vibration, and it's constantly shaping your energy field. Now let's go back to Thoth for a moment. In his Hermetic teachings, he emphasized something foundational: everything is governed by law, and one of the most important, the law of vibration. He said that all imbalance, whether it shows up as illness, emotional chaos, or spiritual stagnation, starts with a disturbance in rhythm. When the natural flow is interrupted, things fall apart. But there's the key. He also said this: all chaos can be reversed by restoring rhythm. Let that sink in. The answer isn't somewhere out there. It's in the restoration of rhythm, and rhythm is accessible through sound. Seek the rhythm, and in it you will find life, he wrote. Disharmonize the rhythm and chaos will take form. These weren't metaphors. They were instructions. This is the code. Right here, hidden in plain sight. When vibration is aligned, life flows. When it's off, things start to decay. And this isn't just ancient wisdom. Modern science is backing it up with experiment after experiment. Whether it's in quantum physics, epigenetics, or vibrational medicine, researchers are discovering that the foundation of life is not solid structure, it's frequency. And the bridge between this ancient wisdom and today's cutting-edge research, it's sound. Sound touches what the eyes cannot see. It rebalances emotions, clears mental fog, stabilizes your energetic field. But the most important thing it does, it activates what has been lying dormant within you. And that's the moment everything starts to shift. Because it's not enough to know this. You have to feel it. You have to live it. Let the vibration do what your thoughts can't. Let it bypass logic. Let it land in your field. When you experience that first shift, when you feel your own voice realign something deep inside, it changes you forever. That's why ancient sages spent their entire lives protecting this knowledge, preserving it, because it's not just healing, it's remembering. And that remembering begins with your own voice. Not a perfect voice, not a trained voice, just your voice. Because your voice is not just sound, it's your soul's signature. A frequency encoded with your intention, your emotion, your essence. Speak with anger and you send out a chaotic vibration. Speak with love and you create coherence. Now imagine what happens when you sing with presence, with reverence. Your voice becomes a tuning fork, a lost instrument rediscovered. This isn't new, it's ancient. But it was buried, dismissed, ridiculed, because the last thing the world wants is for you to realize just how powerful your voice really is. Thoth said it clearly. When sound is chanted with purity, it becomes like a beam of light. It pierces through the density of matter, clears blockages, and reactivates life force. And here's something sacred from his deeper teachings. When the word is aligned with the heart's intention, it becomes a spiritual technology. A kind of key, one that unlocks places no medicine can reach. And this is where the number 33 returns. When you chant the right sound for just 33 seconds, something extraordinary happens. That vibration doesn't just stay in your throat. It travels, it echoes, it locates what's out of sync in your energy field and begins to realign it. Your nervous system calms. Your mind slows. Your body releases a stored tension. But even more than that, you feel it. Something clicks. Something starts to move. It's subtle but profound. You're not imagining it. You're reconnecting with parts of yourself that you forgot even existed. And here's the thing, not all sounds have this power. You can just hum your favorite pop song and expect magic. These ancient healing sounds weren't improvised. They were discovered through deep spiritual attunement, passed down from initiate to initiate, guarded in temples, whispered during rituals. But they all point to the same truth: your voice, used with intention, is the most powerful healing instrument on earth. And in this meeting point between the ancient and the modern, something beautiful is happening. We're remembering. Today, even neuroscience and quantum biology are confirming what ancient masters already knew in their bones. There are certain sound-specific frequencies that can activate precise points within your energy body. This isn't about belief. It's about vibration. Think of your energy centers. Maybe you've heard them called chakras. But they're not just poetic metaphors. They are vibrational hubs, real centers of resonance that affect how energy flows through your being. When they're balanced, life moves effortlessly. When they're blocked, everything feels stuck. And this is where sound becomes a key, not a metaphorical key, an actual one. Each sacred syllable holds a specific vibration. These are seed sounds, ancient codes. When you chant Lamb, you stimulate your root. You reconnect with your sense of safety. Vam taps into your creative and emotional center. Ram fuels your will, your inner fire. Yam opens your heart. Ham clears your throat, your voice, your truth. Activates your inner sight. And A links you directly to divine consciousness. These weren't made up. They were felt, discovered in deep states of awareness, through meditation, through attunement. Sages didn't invent them. They received them. And Thoth, he was teaching the same thing thousands of years ago. In his writings, he described what he called the 7 chambers of internal fire, and each one responded to a specific sacred vibration. When those sounds were chanted in the right sequence, with intention and presence, something extraordinary happened. An invisible staircase began to form within the initiate, a ladder made of sound. And through that ladder, consciousness ascended. This wasn't about climbing to heaven. This was about awakening right here within the body. It was a path what Thoth called the throne of higher consciousness. Not a literal seat, but a state of being where fear dissolves, time slows, and separation fades away. When you chant Lamb, you feel the base of your spine hum. When you chant Vam, your emotions stir. Ram brings heat to your belly. Yam expands your chest. Ham clears your voice. Radiates from your forehead. And 8 echoes beyond your body like a memory from another world. Each sound opens a door. Each one is a portal. And when you chant them with presence, eyes closed, no rush, no goal, something begins to shift. It's not a thought. It's a sensation. It's your entire being tuning itself from within, aligning, realigning. And then something even deeper awakens. You begin to see beyond what the eyes can show. You start to sense layers within you, layers of energy, of memory, of power that were never gone, just dormant, waiting. This is what the ancient practices were always about, not becoming something new, but remembering what you are. And as that sound ladder builds within you, it goes even further. It starts reaching into your physical body, into the cells, the tissues, the very blueprint of your biology. And here finally science meets the soul again. One frequency in particular has captured the attention of healers, sound therapists, researchers: 528 hertz. This isn't just a feel-good frequency. It has measurable documented effects on the human body. Studies show that it supports cellular regeneration. It helps repair damaged DNA strands. It enhances your electromagnetic field. And the best part, you don't need some expensive sound bed or high-tech device to access it. You can sing it right now with your own voice. Thoth described this frequency as the key of the heart, a sound that doesn't just heal, it restructures. That doesn't just balance, it awakens. When you vocalize this frequency with breath and intention, your body enters coherence. Disorder gives way to harmony. Pain gives way to clarity. You feel like something is clicking back into place. And that's exactly what's happening. Your cells start remembering what health feels like. They begin to recalibrate, not just metaphorically, but biologically. You breathe deeper. Your energy field expands. Your mind settles. It's like coming home. And it's not something the brain explains, it's something your whole being feels. But here's a powerful detail most people miss. Yes, vibration heals. But it's the silence after the sound where the transformation locks in. After the chant, after the tone, in the pause. That's where the nervous system shifts out of defense and into deep repair. where your energy starts to flow again, but gently this time, deliberately. In that silence, your soul listens. Your body listens. The ancient monks of Tibet knew this. That's why their chants weren't just about the sounds. They were about the space between the sounds, because sound activates but silence integrates. Sound awakens but silence reveals. Thoth said it best, silence is the guardian of power. In the pause between two tones, between two breaths, that's where the spirit begins to show itself. When you allow space between your sounds, you're not just making music, you're building a field. A vibrational pattern that tells your system, you're safe now. You can let go. You can heal. So here's your invitation. Sing. Just 33 seconds. Feel the vibration. Let it resonate in your chest, your throat, your skull. Let it touch the parts of you thought unreachable. Let it awaken the memory that was never truly lost, because it's in that subtle sacred space between sound and silence where the magic lives, where something buried deep inside starts to rise. It's not just joy, not just peace, it's remembrance, a knowing that lives beyond this lifetime, a stirring that says you've been here before. Because Thoth taught that your soul carries every vibrational impression from every existence it's ever lived. And your voice, when used consciously, is the thread that weaves through them all. It's how you access your original memory field, not the one given to you by family or society, the one you had before you were born. And when you chant from that space, from presence, from true, it's like unlocking sealed doors. Old pain rises and disappears. Stuck energy melts. Forgotten aspects of your spirit step forward, blinking in the light. Some people cry. Others feel a lump in their throat dissolve. Some get chills. Some see images. It's all valid. It's all real. That's what happens when vibration meets the soul. This isn't about perfect technique. It's about sincerity, surrender, showing up with your voice and letting it carry you home. You're not just healing, you're reviving. And that's why now, right now is the moment. Because if you've made it this far, something in you is waking up. So sit down, breathe deep, straighten your spine. And as your lungs fill with air, release it not just as breath, but as sound. Vocalize feel it, not just in your lips, but in your being. Let it echo, let it reorganize. Let it remember. Stay with it for 33 seconds. That's all it takes to stabilize a new frequency in your subtle body. Long enough for the code to land. Long enough for your system to realign. Don't chase perfection. Just be present. Let it be a prayer without words, a homecoming. And when the sound ends, sit in the silence. Feel what's changed. Feel what's open. Because something has. And as you chant Om, know this isn't just a sound, it's the pulse of creation itself. You're not just participating in healing. You are the healing. This is Thoth's wisdom, alive inside you. And now that you've felt it, you can't unknow it. So if this touched something deep in you, let it be known. In the comments write, my healing begins with sound. Let's amplify the collective frequency we're building here. And if you feel called to support this channel, you'll find a link in the first pinned comment where you can contribute directly. It helps us keep this vibration alive and reach others who are ready to remember. And don't stop here. A special video is waiting for you, one that continues this exact path of reconnection. Click it now, it'll meet you there. The next step has already begun.